What's up, everybody? I am Sniggenhoff, and I am pleased to bring you some EU4 content in the Mandate of Heaven patch. I'm super excited. Mandate of Heaven overhauls a lot of the mechanics over here in Asia, specifically having to do with Ming and Confucianism. But today, we're going to be playing as Jianzhao. They are a horde, and hordes are super fun, and there's a lot of interesting achievements we can get as playing as a horde. But the one I'm going for right off, not just right off the bat, but centrally, is Qing of China. Become Chinese emperor as Qing, and to form the Qing, you have to start as one of these three nations. And I'm going to start as these guys. They start with Manchu ideas, and Manchu ideas are incredible, possibly one of the best in the game. They get national manpower modifier and lower core creation cost, just 10% tech cost reduction. This is new, possible Manchu banners, plus 25. This used to be extra discipline, although it's kind of the same because the Manchu banners here have extra discipline. We'll talk about that in a second. Extra cavalry combat ability, faster manpower recovery speed, lower national unrest, and lower stability cost modifier. Plus, at the end of it, they get extra land leader shock. For a while, and I think maybe even still to this day, these three tribes were the best in the game for doing world conquest. At one point, when hordes were like especially broken, before they nerfed them a little bit, I think someone had started as Huan Xiao and conquered the world by like the 1500s. It's crazy. They're not quite that powerful anymore, but there's a few things we can do with these guys. So let's jump into the game. Iron Man. Name it Qing. Let's get going. The coolest thing and the biggest thing they added in this new expansion is a mechanic called ages. Now, in the past, it used to be from 1444 all the way to 1821. The game kind of looked the same. Now, the political map might change, and the challenges you face at different points of the game might change. But like the gameplay and the goals that you had throughout the entire game were kind of always the same. But now they've added this new ages mechanic, and there's 4 ages in the game. And what it does is it gives you a list of optional objectives to complete, which some of you may complete as you would normally play through the game. Discover America. There are multiple nations who will just happen upon that even as they play through the game. Control centers of trade. Have a large city. Embrace the Renaissance. Have 5 different vassals at the same time. Own a province on 2 different continents. Humiliate a rival through a peace treaty. Once you complete these objectives, you will start earning splendor. And as your splendor ticks up, you can then start taking these bonuses. There's 7 bonuses that anyone can take, and then 4 that are for specific nations. And there's different specific nation bonuses in each age. So the Ottomans get better siege ability, the Portuguese get better global settling increase, Denmark can keep Sweden loyal for longer, and the Venetians get extra trade power. Everyone else can take an edict for a state, which we'll talk about in a second. It will lower unrest by 5, lowered aggressive expansion, allows transfer subject peace treaty at half cost, which is interesting, like just being able to steal someone's subject. War taxes cost reduced by 100%. That seems really good. This costs 800. I think they all cost 800 splendor to take, and right now we're gaining 1 splendor a month. So yeah, like even without completing one of these, getting one of these bonuses is going to be kind of hard. Cavalry to infantry ratio plus 20%. Higher developed colonies, you get 3 development in every new colony you finish, which is incredible. And plus 1 combat bonus and terrain of capital. So those are the bonuses we can take in the Age of Discovery. The Age of Reformation has different bonuses. The Age of Absolutism, different bonuses. And the Age of Revolutions has different bonuses. And I'm not sure if these fire on exact dates or if they're kind of like the institutions and like there's like a range kind of when they can fire. And also once per game, you can start a Golden Age, Golden Era. You have to have 3 objectives fulfilled. But if you do it, you get plus 10 morale of armies, plus 10 morale of navies. All your power costs are reduced by 10%. your goods produced modifier goes up by 5, and you get maximum absolutism, which is a mechanic that comes around in the age of absolutism, up by 5%. So it's probably not the best idea. Well, it depends. It could be good to start it like really early in the game, which is when you're weakest. Kind of depends though. What else did they add? They added this new diplomatic macro builder, which allows you to automate your diplomats, which is incredible. You can send them to just go improve with all your neighboring countries. You can send them to go improve with countries that threaten you. You can look and see, just without having to click around all over the map, who is willing to accept an alliance with me. This is awesome. Who would be willing to become my vassal? Who would be willing to let me become their tributary? Who would be willing to accept a royal marriage? This is absolutely fantastic, and it's a big game changer that we'll be using a lot. Also, they completely revamped the way the Ming work and the Empire of Heaven. Previously, the Ming were big and scary, and they had a modifier called the Mandate of Heaven. And if their stability went too low, I think, they would lose the Mandate of Heaven, and then they would just explode. Like, they have a bunch of different countries all inside of them. There's the Ning, there's the Jin, the Wu are over here. And if they lost the Mandate of Heaven, they would start having those rebels spawn, and they would split up into a bunch of different countries. Now, the Empire of China kind of works like the Holy Roman Empire, where you have one central power, this one being the Ming, and then they have a bunch of tributary states. And these tributary states, if they get attacked by an outside force that's not a tributary, the Ming can jump in to protect them. But as compensation for that, they all pay tribute to the Ming. Ayutthaya is paying 13 ducats a month, things like that. 13 ducats a year. 13 ducats a year, not a month. Ming can change this to be like monarch points, manpower, all sorts of stuff like that. And they can also issue decrees based on the amount of meritocracy they have. And I think meritocracy comes from having high-level advisors. And then also any of those tributary states can declare war on the Ming for the Mandate of Heaven, and they become the Emperor of China. So yeah, it's kind of like an Eastern Holy Roman Empire. Currently, we are not a tributary. That is something I may think about doing here early, is becoming a tributary. One, because we do need to become Emperor of China at some point. Two, it will protect us from, like if Yaren or Haichi want to attack us, although we plan on jumping on them. And if we wanted to attack Korea in the future, if a tributary of Ming attacks another tributary of Ming, Ming won't be able to defend them. It's only when an outside force, a non-tributary, attacks them. So if I want to take on Korea at some point in the future, becoming a tributary of Ming would make that a lot easier. So that's kind of like the big things that they've changed. I'm sure there's other stuff I'm missing, but that's the thing I'm most excited for. As for hordes, how they work, first of all, they have a higher cavalry percent that they can use. Typically, the cavalry to infantry ratio you're allowed in an army in a normal nation is 50%. So if I've got 10 infantry, I can have 5 cavalry. As a horde, it's increased by an additional 50%. And then if you have, if you're the Tengri religion, which we are, but you don't have a syncretic faith, you have an extra 25% cavalry to infantry combat ratio. Our syncretic faith at the start of the game is Confucian, which gives us different bonuses. But it means these Confucian provinces in our territory are counted as being Tengri for the purposes of like religious unity. So we have a little bit lower cavalry ratio than other hordes do, but that's fine because cavalry are expensive at the start of the game. They're expensive all the time, and at the start of the game we don't have that great of an economy. Also, as a Manchu horde in particular, you can raise banners. These banners can only be raised from provinces that are Manchu culture, and they cost corruption to raise as opposed to costing money up front to raise, although it does cost money to lower that corruption over time. And they fill up. They'll be either infantry or cavalry depending on your current, like your non-banner army makeup. So I think right now, we can raise 5 there in that state, 1 there in that state, and 1 in this state. If we were to raise all 7 of our banners, I think they'd all be cavalry right now. And it's the banners are raised based on states that they are in and the culture of the states. So one thing we're going to want to do, there is one achievement that's new that we're gonna try to go for at some point during this game. Let me see if I can find it. These banners need a saga. Have 100 regiments as banners raised at the same time. So to get up to that number, we're going to need to culture convert provinces to Manchu so that we can raise more banners. And there's other modifiers that we'll be able to get throughout the game that will increase the number of banners that we can raise. But to get to 100, we're probably gonna need to culture convert at some point. Let's look at... Oh, one other thing about hordes that's very important and really cool is when you conquer a new province, you can raise that province. And what happens when you raise it, I can't remember exactly how it works. It either reduces the development by 1 in each category, or it reduces it by half. I think it might reduce it by half. It's just most of the time in these lower development provinces out here, it is 1 because it's going to default to 1 unless it's at 1 development. Province can't go below 1 development in each category. And then you get monarch points based on how much you raised in each category. I think it's 20 per development. So like if I were to raise this province, I think I would get 40 admin, 40 diplo, and 20 military, because it's like half rounded down. So instead of raising 2, it raises 1 in a 3 development province. And it also gives you the rest of the loot bar as money straight up. And one other thing it does is it raises your horde unity, which slowly ticks down. And because not slowly, it ticks down at like 3 per year at its base. And you want to keep horde unity high. Having it drop too low can put you into disasters and other things. And also, having it high gives you extra discipline. You get plus 5 discipline, essentially, when you are at 100 horde unity. So you kind of want to be... You will always want to have a route for expansion. So that's another reason why I might become a tributary of the Ming, to have like a pseudo-ally in the Ming, so I don't have to ally the Oirat early on in the game. Because if I ally the Oirat is this country right here, and they have a vassal in Mongolia. And if I ally them, I'll be able to conquer like all of this land, and then my western expansion just stops. I can't go any further because I'm allied to this big old blob right here. So then I have to either go attack Korea or attack Ming, or both of them at the same time. And they're kind of big, and that would be hard. So I kind of want to take that tributariness to make that a little bit easier on myself, and to keep my western expansion open so that I can keep my horde unity higher. It's probably a good idea. So, anything else I missed? One other note on the banners over here. The banners that you raise have higher discipline than normal troops. But I don't know if I'm going to raise any banners right now. We're not making a lot of money. Or any money right now. And my targets early on in the game, these 3 here, or these 2 here, I probably will be able to take straight up, especially if they don't ally each other, which typically these 3 just rival each other to crap. Speaking of rivals, look at who rivaled us. Yaren and Haichi both rivaled us. I want to take those for sure. And I could rival Korchin instead of Korea, which I might do. You know what? I think I am going to go ahead and just take tributary status from the Ming. It's probably going to cost us some money right now, or in a year. But it's going to give us some protection. And will make it less likely for Ming to attack us. Korea could still attack us, but it will make it to where Ming won't attack us. And I might rival Korchin instead, because they're going to be an easier place to expand into. I kind of want to do Korea later when I'm stronger, because these northern provinces are all mountains, and like fighting through this can be really difficult trying to invade Korea. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take... Oh, I cannot take Korchin as a rival. I assumed I could. Well, you know what? Let's go for it. We'll rival all 3 of them. And then for a mission, we're going to take Rival of a Rival. No, we're not going to take Rival of a Rival. Oh, we don't have Unite the Jurchen Tribes as a mission. We're going to take Rival of a Rival to have Korchin's opinion of us go up to 100. I'll go ahead and send this diplomat out normally. And then I'm going to automate this diplomat to tell him to improve with threatening countries. I don't know if I want to lower my maintenance right now, because I kind of want to go to war like tomorrow. I can't go to war until December 11th. You have to wait a month in game. Let me check my merchants right now. Got someone collecting in Beijing. Guangzhou has no money in it, so let's send someone to collect in Nippon. And then I have 2 barks. I'm going to privateer in Nippon with my whole navy. Not going to hire any advisors right now. I just don't have the money for it. I don't want to drop maintenance just yet, because I may be going to war very soon. And then for estates, hordes don't have the normal 3 estates. They just have 1 estate. The tribes that wants expects to control 25% of land. Our tribes control 65% of our land, which is a lot. And also, instead of the normal estates, which it puts the autonomy floor for province at 25%, tribes put it at 50%. Man, the tribes have a lot of land. How mad? Oh, I can't revoke it until next year, so I have to keep it like this. Let's go ahead and unpause. One thing I could do with the tribes is raise a host, which will give us 5 cavalry for free as well, and also a general with 20 tradition. I may take that for the general. We do have 5 slots available to us right now. The banners would be better troops, but they don't come with a general. And I don't want to get my corruption ticking up just yet. I'm going to play it a little cautious. So let's unpause for just a little bit. Speed up as well. Ming has accepted us as a tributary state. I don't want an alliance with Korchin. I want to attack them decently soon. Is there no one now who is threatening to us? Are you no longer threatening to us? You're domineering. Let me let the month tick over and see if it changes. We've lost the take mandate of having cast spell against Ming. Oh, maybe I thought it was only tributaries who could do it. Maybe it's people who are not tributaries who can do it. But it's fine for now. We're not going to be doing it anytime soon. Where's the button I'm looking for? Okay, so no one's threatening. Just go ahead and... No, wrong button. Go ahead and just... 2 of you... 1 of you improve with neighboring countries. Alright, so they're raising their banners. Yaren's raising their banners. I just kind of have a feeling that, like, if I raise my banners too fast, I'm going to just lose all my money and go bankrupt. I kind of want to declare war on Haichi right now. They've raised their banners, but their banners start out not fully reinforced. So I can jump in on them right now. One other big thing about hordes is they can declare war on anyone with a tribal conquest CB, and taking provinces out of that CB will cost 0 dip, no matter what province you take, no matter if you have any claims on it or not. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this to raise a host, putting them at 79% influence. And then I'm going to... Oh, I got a really good general out of that. 4 shock and 1 siege. Holy crap. I'm going to use that general to declare war on Haichi. We'll declare it over Alchuca. And real quick, we're just going to walk in here and try to smash this army. I could take this discipline guy. I don't think I'm going to need him, though, for this fight. Speaking of this, though, I think I want to be focused on military for now. Oh, geez, our ruler isn't good in monarch points, but has... we have +5 discipline as a trait. That's fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and focus military early on in the game. Let's go ahead and see if we can just smash this army real quick with our +4 shock and +5 discipline before their banners get too reinforced. Demand we send them this huge tribute in the form of 2 ducats. That's fine. Oh, and hordes get bonuses to shock damage when they're fighting in flat terrain, and then negatives to shock damage when they're fighting in anything else. Oh, okay, yeah. These are their banners over here on the side. They have the discipline bonus, but they're not fully reinforced. Which is kind of why we want to take this war right now. So hopefully once it comes to the shock phase... Do they have a 4 shock general too? Good lord. Never lucky. Come on, I need good rolls here. 5 shock is good. 9 shock is good. There we go. And movement speed +10. Are you going there? Alright, well, that is how we're going to get the whole thing kicked off. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Tell me about how you hope this campaign goes. Whether I do well or whether I crash and burn. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.